What up, what up, what up, y'all? Skye Squad, we are back in the building. First things first, I want to alert you guys to go follow your girl, Bondi Blue, over at her new YouTube channel, Relax with Blue, and also follow her on Patreon. I will put the new link for her new channel down in the comment section of this video and in the description, so you guys can go and give our sister a follow. And if you don't know who she is, she does amazing recaps. She has a beautiful spirit, beautiful personality, and I want to see her win. So definitely go follow your girl. Now, with that out of the way, let's get down to the business of news and entertainment. And we got to talk Nene Leakes in this potential new show she got coming out. Okay. Is it a show? What is it? We got to find out. We're going to look into it. We're going to see what's going on. Okay. We also got to talk about your girl NICKI Minaj and Real Housewives of Potomac and who should be hosting this year's reunion. Oh, yes. Some interesting news. So we're going to talk about all of that. This is going to be a fun show today. Okay. Before we do that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell button, and join the texting community. It is right here. Join the texting community. I can send you a message every single time a new video drops. Okay. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive straight on into the news that we got to talk about today. Now, I have been saying this for quite some time, to be very honest with you. And, I feel like maybe we all spoke it into existence because there are a lot of us that are Nene Leakes fans. So, with that out of the way, the Jasmine brand has an exclusive that I'm going to show you guys, okay? So here's basically what's going on, all right? The exclusive reads, and I want you guys to know exactly what it is, that Zeus's CEO, Lumel Plumer, says that he's been in talks with Nene Leakes about a potential show, okay? Yes. Shout out to the Jasmine brand for getting this exclusive. Shout out to Lumel Plumer for all the work that they're doing with Zeus. I love what I'm seeing coming out of that network, okay? And I've been saying that this would be a smart play. Now, I want you guys to head on over to the Jasmine brand to watch the full clip, so that you can hear exactly what's being said. But I'll just give you a breakdown. He does indicate that they have been in talks for something special. And that we should be hearing something more about it soon, okay? So that to me is exciting. And the reason I said Zeus was because of this. Now you look at the success of Black China, the success of Jocelyn's Cabaret, and Black China's show actually ended up going to WeTV, right? So granted, it may not be the Real Housewives of Atlanta paycheck, but what it could mean is additional income, production credits, and so forth, and a segue into a new network for Nene. So it could go from Zeus in the streaming world to a cable network like WeTV, or otherwise. You just never know. Or she may just want to keep it on Zeus altogether, because I honestly feel like, listen, Zeus has a way of rewarding their talent that you just won't find on other networks. And if you follow the interviews that the Jasmine brand has done with the CEO of Zeus, you will realize that they're able to give their talent more in some areas than a network ever would. So this is why a lot of talent, they're finding it very lucrative to move over into the Zeus network. And I have always talked to you guys about ownership and what it means to have a stake in the property and the content that you are creating. So to me, and I know some people might have laughed when I said it, and I don't know why, but I did say it several times. Nene should go to Zeus. So I'm super excited about what this could possibly mean for the future, for Nene Leakes, for the network. And I wonder from this perspective, now that we're seeing a former housewife possibly going to the network, could this open the door to some other people going to the network, like a Phaedra Parks, or whoever else? Because I can see Phaedra Parks wanting to, own a stake in the content that she's creating as well. So it doesn't look like she's going to be back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 14. So it would be nice to still see her in some other capacity. Now, I want to move on over because we got to talk about something that Nene Leakes posted on Twitter just the other day. Well, actually, about 2 days ago, to be precise. So if you head on over to Nene Leakes' Twitter, you'll see that she retweeted. Someone said the cable info locally stated that Nene Leakes was co-hosting The Talk today. However, no Nene Leakes today at CBS The Talk. I guess maybe later. So Nene added to that. She says, I was supposed to be hosting The Talk today, but I got good news that Greg was coming home after being hospitalized for 6 weeks. So first things first, we want to say, congratulations. We are so super excited and happy that Greg Leakes is returning home. And I think, to be quite honest with you, I don't blame Nene Leakes for wanting to be home with her man in lieu of making a television appearance, because at the end of the day, we only got one life to live. And and it seems like, for me, from my perspective, Nene and Greg are in it for the long haul. Despite whatever ups and downs may occur, that is a marriage that is going to happen. But I'm so excited and so happy to hear that he is going to be able to be at home. And I know that makes such a big difference when people are recovering. And this could be, let's just send them our best wishes. Y'all know how we do on this channel. I am a very positive person. I like to keep it very positive. And so I just want to ensure that we continue to send them some good vibes. Okay. Now we got to move. Let's move on into something else that's fun, right? Fun. This came out of left field, y'all. It came so out of left field. I believe it was going on last night. Okay, so basically, you guys may recall that Nicki Minaj's Moment for Life was used in a promo for The Real Housewives of Potomac, but they had reworked the promo and someone else was singing, and I'm not necessarily sure who, so that it worked for Potomac instead of Moment. Okay, so they did that. It was really clever, but Nicki Minaj had really not made any mention of it. Obviously, she had to approve use of the song and of the sample, but to me, I was like, I'm like, will she ever mention it? But she did. She posted it on her Instagram. Now, you guys can head on over to Nicki Minaj's Instagram to view the full thing. But our friends over at Comments by Bravo consolidated a lot of what we want to talk about today. So shout out to them. So Nicki Minaj says, I'll be hosting the reunion. Let me know what y'all want to ask, child. So, I really honestly think that this was all in fun. It was all in, the joy of celebrating the moment and celebrating Potomac and celebrating the mashup of, her song Moment for Life and Potomac. And I'm sure she watches the show as well, because I'm hearing that she follows Karen Huger and Wendy Acefo. So, but you guys can check that out at your leisure as well. So anyway, Karen Huger said, all right now. So then Nicki responded and said, Karen Huger, yes, ma'am. I know a thing or two about being the grand dame. So then Bravo Watch What Happens Live came in and said, we need Drive Back featuring Nicki Minaj. Now, those of you guys who may know, we've been talking about that this week, Candace's song Drive Back, okay? So Nicki says, what's that, babe? She obviously didn't know, because Nicki is, she's up here doing her music thing and working on her album. So she may not know about, every little thing that's going on in the Bravo community. So anyway, Bravo Watch What Happens Live says Candace's new song. Nicki says, oh yeah, it's a nice song. But at the reunion, I'm gonna have to get into some things with Sissy, because child, now I wonder what things she gonna need to get into with your girl Candace, if it has anything to do with the stuff that happened last season. But we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out, if it ever does play out, okay? So then continued on, A commenter said Giselle's daughter was mad because she thought her daddy was gifting her some Nicki Minaj tickets, but it was a restaurant instead. Like, sir, she needed both. And then Nicki responded and said, Giselle Bryant, yes, ma'am. She gonna have her tickets with a meet and greet to go with it, child. Tell her auntie got her on the next tour, or I'll just see her at the reunion. We got to get into some things. So she is still continuing with this narrative that she is going to be hosting the reunion. And so Robin Dixon replied with, some of the Potomac flowers or whatever. And Nicki Minaj says, Robin Dixon, we about to have so much fun. Candace says, come on then. Nicki Minaj says, Candy girl, I'm on my way. Mrs. Mia Thornton said, oh, it's about to be lit. And Giselle Bryant says, yes. So over here under comments by Bravo, which is obviously followed by Bravo TV, they said Riri and Nicki in a 24-hour span. Someone check on us, okay? So listen, I mean, this is good news for housewives in general. Let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it. One of the things that I think is really dope about this situation is back-to-back, 2 days in a row, we've gotten promo for Real Housewives of New York City, and we've gotten promo for Real Housewives of Potomac from two of the most elite performers of our time right now, Rihanna and Nicki Minaj. That's huge. That is very, very huge. And when we talk about, I know that people talk about, Real Housewives of New York and the ratings being down. But I guarantee you, now that people know that Rihanna's watching, I'm going to be watching these ratings to see if they go up, if they continue to rise, because I think that was a nice little plug. And I also think that this was a major plug by Nicki Minaj. And I think also, too, it was smart on her behalf as well as on behalf of the network. Now, clearly, Nicki Minaj does not need any extra promo. She could just literally post something and everybody's all up on it. But I do think that, it just extends her reign, especially within the Bravo community, because everybody has been posting this. But let's really get into the thing, though. Let's really get into the thing. Could you imagine, number one, somebody outside of Andy Cohen hosting these reunions? And I got to say this, and this is no disrespect to Andy, because for me, I'm forever indebted to Bravo because, they gave me a chance and they did a lot for me when I was on Stripped. So I'm never going to really come down too hard on the network. I may give some feedback here and there. But I will say this, though. Sometimes I feel like Andy may not be as clued into the goings on the show, and in particular, some of the goings on social media. And I don't know if that's necessarily his fault, because he's off doing lots of other things. Watch What Happens Live, previewing episodes for new seasons of the shows, casting and all that other stuff, not to mention his other duties with Radio Andy, as well as being a dad, okay? So there's a lot of that going on. So a lot of that, he has to have a team of people that are working with him that should be keeping their ear to the streets to really brief him on what's really going on in the streets with these shows. But what could definitely help in some aspect of this whole situation is, and I would actually suggest this anyway, but the network needs to start bringing in some new talent to start hosting some of these reunions. Somebody who is invested, who's going to take it seriously and not make it into a joke. And I don't mean no harm to John Sally, but he should not be hosting nobody's reunions. And that was from Basketball Wives days. But anyway, I digress. That's no disrespect to John Sally, but I just felt like he didn't really take it that seriously from my perspective. Now, getting back to what I was saying, you need somebody that's going to take it seriously, that knows their stuff, know what they're talking about, is into the intricacies of the show in order to host the reunion so that they can really get to the nitty gritty of the questions that need to be asked. They need to have a curious interest and they need to be invested in the show just as much as the fans are, because they need to be able to ask the questions that the fans want to know, okay? We get that they do get some viewer questions from Twitter and stuff like that, but they don't always be representative of everything that the fans be wanting to know. So with that being said, I think that they need to start getting some other people up in the mix, because what is going to happen is this, and it's the same thing that typically happens on a housewife show in general. If you continue to use the same talent for years upon years upon years, then that talent almost becomes irreplaceable to the network. So what happens at a point in time if he says, you know what, I don't feel like doing this no more. I don't feel like hosting this reunion. or if he just at a certain point in time just is at the reunion like, I mean, okay, what's the next question? Because I'm ready to go. If he ever does get like that, then you need to have already indoctrinated other talent that people can start getting familiar with now before they just start tuning out, or he gets tired of it himself. Because at a certain point in time, he's going to want to evolve and do other things as well. So I just think that it may be time to start introducing some new talent to start hosting some of these reunions, not necessarily to replace Andy, but also to give him an opportunity to grow in other areas outside of the reunion, because I'm sure there's other things that he wants to do as well. And I think it would be doing I think it would be doing such a service to the fans to have a big personality come in and host these reunions and really get to the nitty gritty of what the people wants to know. Okay. But that's just my take on the situation. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I would be very interested in hearing what you guys have to say. If any other news happens to drop, I know I had heard we were supposed to get the Salt Lake City trailer this week, but obviously that ain't happened just yet. So who knows? Maybe it'll be next week. They do like to surprise us. Okay. Sometimes we'll hear about something that's supposed to happen, and next thing you know, it'll be like, ha, gotcha. It ain't happening right now. So we'll just continue to patiently wait and see what happens. With that being said, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button. Remember to join the texting community, and I will catch you guys in the next video.